If you know, you
It's
know.
Rich Bees.
Khadijah RBV.
It's Kalia.
Hello, it's Kaya.
It's your boy Trey B. Cars, aka Trey. Another one.
We are Team Bees.
The coolest family in podcasting. Hello and welcome to another episode of
Another one.
Welcome. Week number two. How to start a family business.
Another one. We are talking this week about managing a family business. And we're going to jump into it when?
After the break.
Okay, you have been putting it off, but no longer can you do that. You have got to get this website. You have clients who are looking for you. You have information that you need to put out there. You have a product that you're trying to sell, but you have nowhere to put these people. You know, Instagram sometimes can be funny. Facebook goes in and out. So why not have a platform, your own website that people can go to and get in contact with you to purchase your product, to find out what you have available for them at any time? What are you waiting for? Connect with Dynamic Works so that they can design a site for you and your brand that will speak when you are asleep. You heard me? So trust them, reach out to them, connect with them so that they can design a website that will support what you are doing. DynamicWorks.com.
So guys, this week we're going to jump right on in and we're going to talk about how to manage a family business. Now, this can be, to some people, a challenge. Why?
Because there's so many levels to this.
Oh.
There's so many levels.
That's definitely one level right there. But
You said, why do people find this challenging?
Yeah, why do people feel like managing a family business is challenging?
Because it's working with your family.
LOL.
Yeah.
Because maybe some people don't take instruction well.
See, and these are all really good things,
Yeah.
but we're not going to go into the specifics of working with the family because that's in the 4th episode, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be talking more about the business side, not so much the with family side.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Kaya. Thank you for keeping us on track.
Thank you, hello, Kaya.
Thank you, Drake Cars.
Because, I mean, a lot of people do have that working with family is challenging. But now we're just talking about managing a family business. So if you guys are entrepreneurs, right? You have your own business where you're just a sole proprietorship, or you have a family business, or you have a partnership. This will definitely apply to you. Okay? So, point one may not. But in any business, you always have to know who's in charge.
Who's the HBIC? Who the BOSS?
Who's the JEFE?
Jefe.
Who's numero uno?
And so,
But see, I think even
Honcho.
there, just like that right there, numero uno, it might not be one. It might be a couple people.
Yeah.
You know, that's in charge.
Exactamente.
And it's being able to identify who's in charge and then respecting whoever is in charge.
Right, but it's not, if it's like that, then it's not really one person in charge of everything. If there's a couple people on like a board or something, everybody got their station. So y'all all
Right.
come together to talk about things, but I'm not going to be talking about the air conditioning because I'm in the heat. So,
But see, the true part is those people who feel like they got their hand everywhere, and so they got something to say about everything. So it's like, okay, well, like, can I, play my position?
Right.
But it's just identifying and knowing who's in charge, who's over what, and then respecting them for what they've been placed called to do.
right,
Yeah.
and not
Exactly,
only respecting
exactly.
them in their place that they have, but respecting yourself. Because when you try to have your hands in everything, you stressing yourself out unnecessarily.
That's a fact.
That is
The
true.
AC is not your place to be worried about. Only worry about the heat. When's the heat kicking on? That's all you need to be worried about.
If your
you
charge
think-
is to be over the heat,
Right.
Then worry about the heat.
Worry about the heat. Know your role. Know what you play. You can't be a center. Everybody can't be the center. Play your piece on the side.
That's right. Unless your role was to swap places for whatever the thing is for that day, or whatever the
case calls for.
Yeah, whatever exactly whatever the business calls for at that moment in time.
Right.
And then be confident in whatever it is that you're doing.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
there might be some times where you might not know exactly what it looks like or exactly what the next step will be, but be confident that you're able to do whatever it is that you've been called to do.
Right, because you're there
Right.
for a reason.
Exactly.
So just tap into that.
You
Just
were
tap on
hired
in.
for a reason.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I don't know why I did that.
Either you were hired for a reason or you were birthed for a reason.
Exactly.
A birth.
Yeah, you were birthed into this family.
We're talking about a family business here.
Bertha.
So you definitely have to know your role, right? You have to know who's in charge. Those things are paramount in managing a family business, because if you're trying to get work done, it is so hard if you have 3-4 people that are all wanting to be in charge.
Or all doing the same thing, so nothing's getting done.
Yes. Everybody can't do the same thing, like unless it is separated in a way that is for volume's sake.
Look, I'm quick to say, "Oh, that's not my area. That's not. Nope. That's Kaya.
Not my lane.
That's Kaya's lane. You need to check in with her."
Right.
Yeah.
And once you figure out all that with your role that you play, just stick to it. So if you say, like I said, I'm gonna keep using this analogy. If they figured out I'm with the heat, and then I finally figured out, and I just keep doing what I'm doing, just stick to that, because it's working and it's creating revenue, it's creating profit. So stick to it, and that filters into other stuff as well, not just your role, but like the way you market, the way you do things in your business. When you figure out what works, don't just, oh, that works, let me try something new. Like, maybe dabble in there for a little while, simmer in that.
Well, that's one of the things that a lot of people do, which can be detrimental to your business, which is constantly jumping from thing to thing, right? In last episode, we were talking about having your product or your service and things of that nature. And so when you have your product, it makes no sense if we said making floor tiles and you just jump over and you start controlling the heat. Like, that's not...
That's two totally different things.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's two totally different things.
Or you sell calendars, but now you just gonna add like, I don't even know.
You just gonna start
I'm gonna start selling
tea.
tea.
calendars and tea. That
I mean, like,
It could work, but why?
Calendars.
I don't, what I want us to do is make sure that we leave it open, because you do want people to grow and you do want your business to expand,
Yeah,
and
of
you
course.
do want
Correct.
things to become better. And if we are to take Dynamic Works, for example, when Dynamic Works started, like, the list of services that we had, or maybe not just started, but as we were going along, the list of services that we offered were like vast. So we had a lot, and in our marketing efforts, it was a bit of a challenge to try to market all of those services.
That's true.
So one of the things that we decided to do was narrow down the services that we focused on, so that we could grow those things, and then have a niche, something that we could work in and work through in order to get our brand out there. And so I think that that's important, but stepping back, we do realize that there's other things that can sprout off of those services that we have that are still in that vein, but it's just something different that we're working towards.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, but so just so you guys know that next week we're going to get really into some details on that part, which is, growing your family business and the ways that you kind of scale back things to get more out of them and all that kind of stuff. That we'll be talking really in depth about that on next week. But yes, I mean, you're definitely right. Those are definitely key things that you have to do, to keep moving forward. In your managing, you can't manage things that is just all over the place. You have to bring some order and structure to it.
Right. So always know what you're doing. Always see what's going on behind the scenes. You can't just be worried about how things are outside of things. By this, I mean, like, so you're doing, like he said, your marketing, or what she said, your marketing and everything, but what are your books looking like? What is your profit? What's your loss? How are you going to grow from stuff that you are doing? What's the financial side? Because that's a lot of things that people, like, they're worried about it, but they're not really thinking about it.
Okay. People literally don't know what type of money's going in and what type of money's coming out. That happens on a lot of businesses, and especially a family business. Like, there has to be somebody who's totally keeping track of what's going in and what's coming out. Because if you don't, it'll be flip-flop opposite, and what's going out is way more than what's coming in.
Out of nowhere, you're bankrupt, and not just in your business, but in your own life, because you put all your money in it, and
Exactly.
it just makes for issues.
Yes, huge issues, because there's times where you'll end up owing others, you know? So it's not just that, you know, and that's a bad place to be in, when everything that you do still has to go right back out. Like, literally, you can't keep none of it.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate.
And one of the keys to managing what I would consider a successful family business is that everything that you do is always profit. Like, so if everything that you do is always, like, there's no, as little overhead as possible. So that means that every time you sell something, it's really all profit. That's where you really want to be at. You know, because that way you don't have anything to worry about. Chances of you taking a loss are going to be slim to none, unless you just don't get any business. But the way that you keep up with that is to keep track of your books and to know what's going in and coming out.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Now, one of the things that I like to do with the team here and at Dynamic Works and the other things that we're doing is we have to have meetings.
And this is his favorite thing, y'all.
It's not my
Don't
favorite
even
thing.
do that.
He
Trust me when I
loves
say.
to have
it
a
is his
quick
favorite
little
thing.
meeting.
I don't think
and
it's
the
his
quick-
favorite thing.
And the quick meetings turn into 2-hour-long meetings. And the conversation has started at one thing and ended it at something totally, completely that does not even have anything to do with what we started talking about.
I don't think it's his favorite thing so much as he knows that the communication has to be there for us to grow, for everybody to know what's going on.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about it, and
You have
it can't just be in passing. Like, oh, you finished that website? Okay, cool. We out. And then, like, maybe there's more specifics on the website y'all need to talk about. You gotta have a quick little meeting about it.
Yeah, I mean, but you have to have some structure and order, and to do that, you have to have communication, right? And it can't be all via email. It can't be social media. It can't be direct messages and stuff like that. Like, there has to be meetings. Now, you can have like virtual meetings where you do, like, you know, if your business is spread out and you have one family member on this coast, one family member on the other coast, or whatever, right? Or there's some distance. But if you're in a family business and you're in one central location, then meet together. Get together, meet, pull out your big whiteboard, and let's write some stuff down. Because if you don't have some way to communicate what's going on, you can't be effective and you can't drive your business. You know, whoever's in charge of, put somebody in charge of the meetings who can stay concise on what's going on, right? On the communications. That can work too,
Yes.
right? But don't make it somebody who's so in charge and so, rigid that the meeting is boring. Like, it's got to be something that at least can have a little bit of fun, right?
I guess.
Yes,
Meetings aren't my favorite. So
They're not my favorite either.
I
I
don't
just
think
need
they're
them to
my
be
favorite.
speedy. I just like a speedy meeting. Keep it on task and
Your
let's
meeting's
go.
over 5 minutes is
I
a
think-
no, I'm playing.
I think a meeting has to be as long as it has to be. I'm not a fan of it being long. I'm not a fan of it being short. I'm a fan of getting out the necessary communication that needs to be communicated. Exactly. Because if you don't have that communication, then what'll happen is somebody's not going to know their part. Somebody's not going to know their role that they need to get done for this week or this time. And one of the things that we did, we set 2 meetings a week. So there's one standard meeting on Mondays and one standard meeting on Fridays. That way, at the beginning of the week, you know what you got to do. At the end of the week, you know what's coming up for the next week, so you can be prepared if you have to do something over the weekend.
And what happened that past week is on Fridays in that Friday meeting.
Exactly. So that way, everybody is on the same page and we can move forward. You know. So for me, these are I feel like these are definitely the things that you're going to have to put in place, and you're going to have to know if you're going to manage your family business to be successful. And we're telling you this stuff from experience. Okay? So we're not telling you because this is something that we just, heard in school or something that we just, found out of a book or whatever. Like, these are points that are literally points that we had to put in place because we can tell the difference. Like, you can see a difference. Can y'all see a difference in our business as we put some of this stuff in place?
Absolutely. Definitely.
Well, good. I'm glad, and I expect it to get better. I expect us to grow even more.
Like fine wine.
Aged fine wine.
No, it don't take all that. I don't need all them years. Give me a couple days, couple weeks.
So, for you guys, hopefully this information is going to benefit you, which if you do these things, I expect you to be successful. I expect your thing to take form and grab some legs and start running. Yeah. So
take somebody's legs.
So next week, guys, we will definitely be back with another episode, and we're going to show you guys different ways and different keys that you can put into place to grow your family business.
Take it to that next level.
Yes, because these were like fundamentals. Level. These were like fundamentals, things that you need for your structure, for your frame of your business. Now we're going to get into the fun part, which is getting bigger and getting to the money. So we thank y'all guys for coming. We thank you for listening. We hope you put these things into place. From the coolest family in podcasting
and on the internet, period.
Team Bees.
We out.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Team Bees.
To keep the show going,
partner with us at teambees.com/partner.
We out.